Hi everybody, thank you for tuning into Flat Earth, Truth in Plain Sight. I'm just going to get myself set up. Trying to work a way to get into the chat and have my camera on at the same time. As you already know, I'm not that experienced at doing this, so just bear with me. To work a way to get into Hi Sky Viewer, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the trolls. I'm going to be discussing quite a bit about them today. I've dedicated a little segment to them, just especially for the Globies. Hi Tony, hi Chris, hi Luke. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you got a notification. Cool. For once, my notifications have been messed up all over the place. Another thing I'm going to talk about. I've been signed out of so many chats, signed out of my account so many times, unable to go into certain hangouts and communicate with people. So I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that's having confitus balls on YouTube. Hi, Chillstar. Thank you so much for tuning in. Riddle Me This. Thank you for tuning in. As I said a second ago, I'm just taking a second to get myself set up. As I've already told you guys, I'm a mummy to a couple of kids. I've got a full-time job, so I'm trying to juggle dealing with all of that and having an online presence and spreading awareness. So please bear with me while I try and just catch up with myself and bring myself up to speed. Yeah, I'm going to apologize. I haven't been on for a little while. As I said, I've been having major problems with my account. I can sign in and like peruse and view over videos that aren't live, like non-hangout videos, but I've had like multiple issues with various different hangouts, signing in and trying to communicate in those hangouts. So many people have reached out to me that I've communicated with over this week. Steve, Rebecca, thank you so much for like communicating with me and going back and forth and letting me know I'm not on my own with that. If I sound a little bit unwell to you today, I am. I've been unwell the past week. Really bad cough, really blocked up, and just trying to vet it through the week regardless. So yeah, apologise if I sound a bit bunged up today. Yeah, once again, thank you for tuning in. I was doing a hangout on a Saturday and a hangout on a Sunday, but as the weeks have progressed, I've found that I've really only got like a quality amount of time to put into this to do one hangout a weekend. So at the moment, until further notice, I'm just going to be doing a hangout every Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT, for about a couple of hours, give or take, depending on what happens. I'm going to try and upload content, actual informative content that can be used in making people aware to the truth. But before I do any of that, I just want to start off by saying a kind of personal testament for why I'm doing this, who I am, how I got to be here. I understand that people that are new to this, they might not have watched any of my other videos. So for those of you that are tuning in and you've tuned into me before, I apologize if I'm going to reiterate some of the things that I've said in other videos. But I feel it's quite important to say this, especially with respect to hangouts that I've seen over the last 24 hours, taking the time to inform people at the beginning of their hangout how they've got to be where they are and what they're giving to the truth. And I, for one, I don't want to be on hangouts, on comments. I don't want to be making comments that are not going to do any good for the truth. I myself, I've been caught up in a couple of back and forths with people that have made comments on my videos, and I'll call them disinformative agents. I'm not sure if they're paid or voluntary. Like, I wonder sometimes, like, how they get to being voluntarily bashing people on videos. Like, I don't get it. And that's what I want to talk about now, my journey. On my journey, like I didn't just get here overnight. I didn't just like wake up one morning and say to myself, oh yeah, random, I'm just going to think the earth is flat now. I'm just going to believe that. This is not a belief. I don't have a belief in the fact that the earth is flat. I feel I've seen measurable proof that the earth is flat. I haven't seen any measurable proof that the earth is a globe. That's the one thing I haven't seen. And I've asked people to show me proof. On my journey of awakening, I went through a hell of a long time trying to prove to myself that I wasn't going to buy into yet another belief. Yeah? I didn't go from believing one thing to believing another thing. I went from believing something to waking up and realizing that belief was the lie. One of the biggest, no, not one of the biggest, the biggest lie ever told. Fact. Yeah? The biggest lie ever told. The biggest lie ever told is that we live on a globe. Yeah? We don't live on a globe. I don't believe that we live on a globe. I know we don't live on a globe. I went through months and months and months and months and months of trying to prove to myself that I hadn't been lied to for my whole life. Yeah. I said to myself, well, I'm going to find proof that we live on a globe. I'm going to find a real image. I'm going to find real footage. I'm going to find real measurable proof of a globe. And I couldn't. So I realized it was bullshit. And then I've got to the point I am now. So it's been a journey. And if any of you are new to my videos and you haven't seen any of my videos before, please tune into any of my previous videos where I've gone into like a whole long story about how I've got here to this point today. But believe me when I say to you, it wasn't just overnight. I've gotten into going back and forth with people and comments that are putting derogatory comments. I've put in positive comments on other people's comments, and then trolls have jumped on those comments, and then I've gone back and forth. And after going back and forth, I've gotten no further with it. And there's some times where I've gone back and forth and I've wondered to myself, have I done any good there? Like, as I said before, I'm not sure whether they're Android, like AIs, or humans. I don't even know if I'm interacting with real people. Some of these comments don't make sense. I might go into some specifics. Okay, but one thing I will say is that I have regurgitated information that's already out there. Yeah, information that was quite profound to me. Yeah, and when I regurgitated that information, I said to myself, I'm really interested to see what the Globies have to say about this. And the comments that they put on my content were just kind of like not, I'm trying to think of the word, creepy, like weird, like weirded me out, like ugh, what is all that? You know, one person was ludicrous enough to write. I put that Bart Sibrel content up on my channel about faking the moon landings, and a Globie says to me, just because they faked that doesn't mean they faked the moon landing. So I said to them, do you know what? I'm going to leave your comment there, innit? So that others can see how ludicrous that looks. Like, just leave it there. Like, leave it there. And I feel like it is not a good thing to remove these comments, because removing them just makes it look like you've got something to hide when we haven't got nothing to hide. The truth hasn't got nothing to hide. I've got the rest of my life to tell the truth. I've got the rest of my whole life to tell the truth. So, like, I'm kind of like, but going back and forth, wondering to myself, am I communicating with real people? Am I not communicating with real people? Like, so I've come to the conclusion after looking at other people's hangouts, other people's comments, that unless you've got something definitive to say, I'm not sure going back and forth with these people is getting us anywhere. I don't have any evidence that going back and forth with these people gets us anywhere. On my journey of awakening, yeah, as I'll call it, I'm not trying to coin no phrase. I'm just telling you my truth, my own personal truth. Yeah, I'm not talking for anybody else right now, just me. Yeah. On my journey of awakening, I didn't go through any stage of bashing people that already knew the earth was flat. In no point in my journey did I go through a phase of doing that. Like, so I can't relate to even if any of these trolls are human beings, yeah, where they're coming from. Because I can't get there to visualize where on their journey they feel to bash people that already know the earth's flat. Did anyone else see that content by Frankie B. Flat, I think his name is, talking to those Jehovah's Witnesses? As soon as I saw that, I said, look at this. Like, does anyone else have any comments on that? Sorry, I've gone off piste a little bit, but I'm still talking about my journey. It's just that it resonated with me because a couple of weeks ago I was talking about, you know, if we have to get it to the point where we're knocking on people's doors, spreading the truth, you know, who's going to be our witness to this? You know, people bear witness to William Carpenter, Lady Blount, the Samuels, Rose Bottom and Shenton. People were their witnesses. Who's our witness? We are just now. Everybody that's singing off the same hymn sheet in saying the fact that the earth is flat. We don't have to agree on everything. But, you know, if we're agreeing on the fact that the earth is flat, then we are reading off the same hymn sheet. So with that being said, who's going to bear witness to this? You know, after I'm gone and my children's children are here. As I said before, I hope it happens in my lifetime. I want the full truth in my lifetime. But yeah, this is my journey I'm talking about. You know, I didn't get here overnight. And I didn't get here by just switching from thinking one thing to the next. I went down every avenue I possibly could and came to the conclusion that there was no measurable proof of a globe. So it was a belief system. You know, I'm humbled and so greatly comforted to know that we can all find solace in each other in the fact that we're not on our own, we're thinking this. You know, we're using technology for a positive reason, connecting with each other, which otherwise without certain technologies we wouldn't be able to do. So the fact that we're able to contact each other and the fact that we're able to tell each other, look, I think this too, I agree too, this is what I think, this is what I've seen, this is what I've measured, this is what I've got. You know, we're realizing that tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions, possibly billions of people know for a fact there's no measurable proof of a globe. They know for a fact we live on flat Earth. Yeah. So with that being said, that's my that's how I'm here. What I am really trying to do is I'm trying to spread awareness in the most competent way possible. Yeah. I've gone through many avenues until I've got myself to the point where I'm on YouTube. Yeah. Just because people haven't had, and I'm not speaking for myself here, I'm speaking for other people as well, people that I know that are fairly active with Flat Earth that are not online at all. Not online at all. So is there now a new rule that unless you're online vouching for the fact that you're here and vouching for the fact that you've been doing this for a long time, as some people internationally, I'm not calling out no one in the UK for this, I'm just saying some people internationally have, you know, like trying to set some bar as if to say people need endorsements from people to give themselves you know, affirmation, the fact that they're doing something for the cause. Like, I don't get that. That's something I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, I don't feel like any flat earth is for anyone to own. Yeah, information's information. You know, full ratings to people that have just been out there slogging it day after day, week after week, year after year. Yeah. What gratification do those people get? What gratification do people that aren't online, that are out there spreading awareness and being active for Flat Earth get? They get bugger all, don't they? Because there's people that are online internationally saying, you know, where were you? Where were you? Like, it's things like that that really get my hackles up, because I just think to myself, how did the conversation get there? Where did that thought come from? It feels goading in some way, and it doesn't feel positive. You know, I'll retract what I'm saying. If we're reading off the same hymn sheet and we're all agreeing on the fact that the earth's flat, yeah, then we're all pressing forward with spreading the truth. Yeah, like factions breaking off and calling shots at other people and calling shots at other people and calling shots at other people. That's Maddox, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not being hypocritical. Yeah, I stand by every last thing I have said up until this point. Yeah, and I will continue from this point standing by everything I've said. Yeah, people might not rate certain things that I've done, and I fully respect that. That's their opinion. Yeah, and this is just my opinion. I just feel that when people internationally insincerely reach out to people, yeah, and then people reach out to them on an Operation Realness flex and then they don't say anything back, I just feel like, okay, that must be a trend, because I've spoken to people and people seem to say, you know, those same fractions are there. So I don't understand that. Is that being perpetrated to make the community look stupid? Yeah, to have them all reading different things and sounding inconsistent. Like, it's mad to tune into certain people's awareness content and they're bashing other people. That just sounds a little bit like unproductive. You know, I fully rate everything Del said in his Hangout yesterday. And I'm not here to endorse anybody. It's not my place to do that. I'm just an average Joe Bob human being. Yeah. But I'm here live giving you my opinion. That's all it is. Yeah. So I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to piss anybody off. Yeah. I realize no one's perfect. No one's going to be able to walk through life and not piss anybody off. But I'm just showing you that's not what my intentions are to do. Yeah. Like, if anyone wants like Operation Realness Truth put in them and they haven't already watched it, please go and tune into Beyond the Imaginary Curve and watch Del's feed from last night. Like, I think a lot of us could take a leaf out of his book, like myself included. Like, I'm new into the community. Yeah, I'm not quite sure of how to successfully interact with people 24/7 on the issue. Yeah, I'm still trying to own my skills. I'm still trying to take note from people that are doing it successfully. Yeah, and are doing a great job of it. Yeah, and the more that we can do that, yeah, the more that we will be. You know, it's very difficult when you're live. You're trying to find the right vocabulary so that you don't get quoted later on as, you know, because what's in my head and what's coming out of my mouth sometimes is two different things. And I don't mean to sound inconsistent. And that doesn't mean I've got any issues or anything, because I can't just, you know, talk about one thing at a time. I've got a lot of things that I want to say, and I'm new to this. I have never constructed a conversation with a camera before. Yeah, and not being able to interact with anybody physically. You know, it's one thing to video call your family member because you see your family member on the camera. You're interacting with that person. I'm interacting with no one apart from myself right now. So I'm trying my best, and I'm sorry if for some of you it's difficult to keep up with because I'm going this way and I'm going that way. But with regards to Del's content last night, I think a lot of us could take a leaf out of his book, yeah, and those like him. I'm taking a lot of note from the likes of John Smith, Globally. I think his activism format is outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I'm struggling for the want of for the lack of words. You know, I'm absolutely blown away by his patience and his sheer determination to just press forward regardless of the hurdles. Like, it's an inspiration to me. And I would like to own my skills so I'm confident enough to engage with people in the way that the likes of him do. And there's many others like him that are out there that are doing outstanding activism. And I think if we all kind of tune into that, and then you know, we won't be damaging the truth. And I'm not saying anyone else is. I'm just saying for me, I don't want to damage the truth, so I don't want to interact with people and come off looking bad because I haven't prepared properly. Because I feel that's what it comes down to, preparedness. I'm not at the stage where I can debate with people about it because, you know, if you haven't watched it already, tune into Dale last night. He put it perfectly. I couldn't say it any better myself. I really couldn't. So full ratings to you, Dale. You're doing the community an amazing job, and we could all like take time. And I'm really saying this to people that are new to this and that possibly are watching this for the first time and have never seen any hangouts like this before. You know. Please tune into channels like Beyond the Imaginary Curve. They're Operation Realness. They're giving you the information straight up, no bullshit. So yeah, as far as the trolls go, like I feel like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But as I say to them, I've got a lifetime to tell the truth. So that's what I intend to do. This week, or last 10 days, I should say, has been somewhat of a madness for me. I haven't really had as much time to dedicate to spreading awareness. I haven't had as much time to have an online presence. There's a lot of hangouts that I haven't been able to tune into as and when they're happening. I've had to watch them, you know, after, which isn't really the same. I've been signed out of, I've lost count. I've lost count actually. The ones that I have been able to sign into, before I've even managed to say hello, it's just signed me out and I've had to sign back in again. But it is nice to know that I'm not on my own with that. Other people have been going through that as well. So before I move on, I'm just going to go to the chat room because I apologise. I really haven't been paying much attention to it. Once again, I am new to this, so if you could just bear with me, I actually want to try and get through the chat room and communicate with as many people in the chat room as I possibly can before I press on. So yeah, once again, I'm just going to shout out a couple of people and thank them for tuning in. Beyond Belief, thanks for tuning in. Carl Steinbeck, thanks for tuning in. David Gillibert, thank you for tuning in. John Jones, thanks for tuning in. Jason Tomlinson, thanks for tuning in. Richie, thanks for tuning in. Return of the Cat's Eyes. Hello, darling, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to moderators for doing a great job in moderating the chat room. Lady Onyx, hello, my darling, how are you? Max DBB, thanks for tuning in. Plant-based comedian, thank you for tuning in. Rickus, thanks for tuning in. Rebecca's Way, thank you for tuning in, my darling. It's good to see you. I say see you. I mean see you in the chat room. Obviously not see you there, but Kimmy Spreadbra, good afternoon, my darling. Thank you for tuning in. Tony Dixon, Buddy Boy, thank you for tuning in. Brian, thank you for tuning in. Baron. Cece, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm definitely going to get in contact with you at some point this week. I've just got to kind of manage my time a little bit better, but yeah, I'm definitely going to get in contact with you and we'll have a chat. Steve HB, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to absorb the chat room. Yeah, Tony Dixon, we witness what water does and other people should do the same. Well said. Baron, I completely agree with you on that. I'm trying to learn a really good technique as well. And I think when you're trying to learn a technique, yeah, you kind of learn what you learn and then you own those skills yourself and then kind of regurgitate your own version of it. But at least you've got a kind of format to work off of. Does that make, a template maybe is a better way to say it. But yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. Yeah, absolutely awesome. To each and every one of you that have tuned in to me this afternoon, whatever time it is where you are, I fully appreciate you being here and listening to what I've got to say. As I say, I'm just regular Roxanne. I'm just a regular human being, yeah, who was lied to for the majority of their life, yeah, was presented with some new information, went through a journey and came to the point where I am now, where it's not a belief. I don't believe the earth is flat. I know the earth is flat, yeah. There is no measurable proof of a globe. Yeah, first and foremost. Yeah. Just before I move on, though, I want to say I don't know how relatable this is to anybody, and this is just me kind of wearing my heart on my sleeve. I take a hell of a lot of flack in my daily life for having the stance that I do on where we live. You know, it's not a walk in the park with friends and family and work, you know. Every single day of my life, I'm surrounded by people that are just not awake. It's numbing to the point where it's very difficult to have these kind of superficial conversations with people anymore that don't go anywhere. Meaningless, time-wasting conversations, time of which I'm not going to get back. So I kind of have become less tolerant of bullshit, superficial conversations that people have, mundane conversations that people have. So everyday life has become a little bit more difficult to deal with in the sense where navigating everyday life, you have to navigate the system. And there are generic situations that you go into day in and day out that are just generically the same every time. You know, meetings for one. You know, you just being awake. You're not just awake to flat Earth. You know, it's so much deeper than that. And trying to vocalize it, I feel like that's half the trap. You wake up and then you know where it's at in your head, and you try to vocalize it to other people, and that's where I struggle. You know, I know what these things are in my head that I'm trying to say, but trying to convey them to you in a comprehensive way, that is, you know, without for the better word of sounding irrational, because that's another globy tactic that I've seen as well, that they like to make you sound unbalanced or unstable. But it's not that. It's just that we see the lies that are weaved through every fabric of our life. It's like, it's not everything. I'm not sitting here saying everything's a lie, but apart from the few truths, most things are lies. You know, everything that you see on the television, most of that's bullshit. What they portray to be factual news is orchestrated bullshit. Just that whole circus act with Kim Jong-un this week. Oh, whoa. So yeah. As I said, I've gone this way and that way, so I've kind of gone left and right in this hangout. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm not sticking to some kind of format. I know that other people can probably freestyle like this and do it so much better than me, and I'm sorry about that. I don't have any stuffs to read off of. I haven't really even done bulletin points. I wish I could dedicate a lot more time to this, and I do dedicate a lot of time to this, don't get me wrong, but I don't dedicate enough time of it to become formulated and have, you know, bullet points so that I can kind of stick to a narrative as I'm trying to convey my information to you. But I will get there. I will get there. As I said, I'm new to this, but I wanna have a presence where I'm giving factual information when I am interacting with people that are, like I say, disinformative agents. I call them disinformative agents because more time they can't be people that are waking up, because I haven't heard on anybody's hangouts, anybody's story about how they woke up, testimony, whatever you want to call it. No one's ever touched on, and yeah, I went through a stage of bashing people that already thought it was flat earth before I woke up. Just no. And even if I didn't wake up, would I have even done that? Still, I don't know. All right. So, but it's just there's too many of them on there for that to be normal. So yeah, once again, I'm sorry if I'm going left and right, but there's information in my head where I'm like, hold on, have I said that? Have I already discussed that? Have I already told people that? Like, I think that, and that's what I see. So where I'm going next with this. Okay, so I have this week gone through a bit of a madness, and yeah, like bashers have been on my case all week on my own content, on positive comments that I put on other people's content. I've had people come back on and bash me. So that in its own right has been a bit of a mad one. But in the light of that, and in the light of me being signed out of certain hangouts, I created a second channel. And on that channel, I'm going to use that channel as a backup channel. I've called that channel Flat Earth Roxanne. That's what I've called it, Flat Earth Roxanne. I've got a few bits and pieces on there already. But I now have that channel to fall back on if I get signed out of certain chats, and then I can try and go on that one. And so far, that seems to have worked. I've been able to go back into the chats and be there and have a presence there and be able to communicate. So that's cool. So that channel is called Flat Earth Roxanne. I'm going to stick to doing my live hangouts on here. And, you know, unless something happens, I'm going to maintain to doing that on this channel. So yeah, I've got that channel, Flat Earth Roxanne, that's been active now for a few days. Also, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I do offline regarding activism. Yeah. So I already told you about my imaginary people that I throw under the bus, and I always feel like that's a good one when you're in environments where it's just not feasible to just get on your soapbox and start talking about flat earth from your personal perspective. Yeah. Another thing that I do is I will give these to people. I don't really like putting them places because I'm not trying to have my information wasted. However, I do sometimes put them in bus stops, and I've definitely taken inspiration from other people's ones. I like the the supermarket one, popping awareness information inside supermarkets and stuff. But I've got a little awareness card that I've been handed out. So far, okay, so like 4 deliveries, and I've probably got about X amount left. Hold on. So I probably handed out close to about 3,500 of them already. So yeah, I've managed to get these into a lot of people's hands, and that's not really the important thing. The important thing is that I'm doing it all the time. So I'm going to try and hold this up to the camera, and I'm going to see if you can see this. These cards here. These. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if that's coming up. Hopefully it is. Okay, so hopefully you all saw that. That's the little card that I give people who are open to the suggestion of being awake. Is that an okay terminology? Realistically speaking, I thought of doing a few other designs, but yeah, realistically speaking, I think, you know, even if I get, you know, out of every 100 people I give a card to, I'm like, even if 10 of those people, even if one of those people look into this and wake up, then it's, you know, my efforts haven't gone in vain. So yeah, hopefully you lot think they're okay. I didn't really want anything too fancy. I just wanted it straight up informative. And so far so good. People are more than willing to take them off of me, especially at train stations, tubes. I live right next to the district line. It goes right into London, and at 6 o'clock every day, it's like a football match has just finished, and they all come out. And I stand there in my work's finest, looking very, you know, smart, you know, very calm, cool, and collective, and just kindly hand them out, 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 smile and hand them out, smile and hand them out. Have a good day, have a good day, have a good day. And yeah, so I'm doing my utmost with that. I might film it one day. I might. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, and I might do that. So yeah, that is awareness that I'm doing constantly. Now, another thing that I'm going to be doing is a link up in London. I'm already in the process of organising it. I've got banners ordered. I've got flag banners ordered. I've got more cards to give out. I'm trying to not replicate. Replicate would be I've taken a lot of inspiration from John Smith Globeli. I feel that his banners are just absolutely incredible. Incredible. The way he has managed to get people to just like stand at a halt and absorb that information. It's brilliant. So I've done like a little mini Roxanne version of it. And that's what I'm going to be using at Hyde Park. I'm going to be getting badges together. I'm going through the process of just coming up with a, you know, kind of simple but you know, usable design. And I'm asking certain people to kind of collaborate with me on that. And not because I'm not smart enough to do it on my own, obviously, but I feel that, you know, many hands make light work. And I feel like if I can, you know, get information from people and get their opinion on things, I feel like whatever product turns out at the end, and this is a free thing, this is not like a sellable product, this is just something that I want to do for free. And I'm dusting off the old badge making machine from up in the loft, and I'm going to selflessly just make thousands of badges, thousands of them. So once that's up and running, I'll be able to send like box loads to people for nothing, and I mean that, it's just nothing. If it helps other people get awareness out there, and like there was a video a couple of weeks back where this guy was saying, you know, it really might help us identify each other on the road as well. You know, if you make someone aware or someone's already aware and they say, all right, look, put this badge on, you know, you could be sitting on a bus next to someone that you know, is a flat earther, and you're not there having a conversation with them. You wouldn't know them on the road. They're not just going to be walking around, you know, sign above their head going, oh, I'm a flat earther, talk to me, you know. But you could be well standing in a queue, you could be anywhere in the supermarket, behind someone, in front of someone, and I feel that there would be that kind of sense of unity. And if you did spot another flat earther on the road, you would say hi, and I thought that would be good for networking. So anything I can do to kind of like help people give those out and get people to them. I don't want to have anything of mine on it. I don't want it to say anything to do with Roxanne. I'm maybe just FE, maybe just, you know, I don't know. But like I said, I'm in the process of going through the motions of, you know, if it is just letters, what font, what color, on what backing, you know, what would be most effective, a bit like a think group. So that, you know, I want to get it right first time. Is that so unachievable? So the link up, it's in London. It's going to be in Hyde Park. It's going to be on the 23rd and the 24th of June over the whole weekend. I want to give people as much opportunity to go as possible. So we're going to do both days. We're going to do about midday to 6 o'clock on both days. On the Sunday, it gives us the opportunity to get on the whole speaker's corner and spread the word. So anybody that wants to, this is not mine. Yeah, just because I'm talking about it and instigating it, I'm not taking onus of this. This is for everybody that is reading off the same hymn sheet about flat earth. Yeah, it's not like if you want to jump on my bandwagon, there is no bandwagon. Yeah, I'm just trying to push forward with awareness. I live in the capital city. It's a no-brainer that I should do a capital city link up. The more of us that do live in big cities that can do this, the better. As much, as well as everybody that's already doing it. If there's those of us that live in the capital city, those of us that live near the centre of Manchester, those of us that live near the centre of Liverpool, like people where there's hundreds of thousands of tourists and not just people from Britain, yeah, where we can push that information out to people. Yeah, it's up to them what they do with it. Yeah, but we need to get the information out to people first and foremost. So yeah, 23rd, 24th of June. It's activism awareness weekend, and I'm going to try and set the bar, and maybe try and like set the bar crazy high. I'd really like to get to the point where we know we've made more than maybe 30 or 40,000 people aware in a day, and I don't think it's that unachievable in the location that we're looking to do it in at the time of year that we're looking to do it in. So I feel that anything that anybody wants to have a say on and have a put in on, that's great. I feel that weekend we should really try and jump round to Parliament, and whatever news is popping off that week on the whole scripted news flex, we should try and get in the background with the banners until we get told to jog on. But the more awareness that we can get, the better. So yeah, 23rd to 24th of June. Activism weekend that is in the process of being organised just now. I'm back in the chat room again now. Thank you, moderators, for herding those trolls. Yeah, AJM, any big like public gathering, football matches, if we can get like, not necessarily mine, but anyone that's got stuff, and I know a ton of you have got stuff like this. Yeah, I've left mine on the back blank because closer to the time, I'm going to start writing in Sharpie on the back the link up. I most probably could already do it, to be fair. I could probably already do it, London link up, Hyde Park, 23rd, 24th, just write the information in pen on the back. And I thought, it's always good to do this because it gives me an opportunity to write in others. With people's permission, I'm more than happy to write Rebecca's Way, Jamie Brown, any other people that want me to put them on the back of this card. I'm happy to do that. So by all means, get at me, operationrealness@yahoo.com. If you want any of your information popped on the back of there, I'm happy to do that for you. As I said, I'm getting them out into people's hands, and if you've got something constructive to say and you want people to see that regarding flat earth truth, then I'm all for that. So anything I can do to enable that, I'm more than happy to do so. Yeah, 10,000 at a Premier game in a weekend, easily. I mean, I went onto tourism websites and stuff, and I was just looking at the numbers that go through Hyde Park and when their most busy times are, and what time of year the frequency goes up and the frequency goes down. So it isn't actually unachievable to get those big numbers in places that have those big denominators of people. Realistically speaking, AJM, if we did all orchestrate together, in small groups to attend football matches all across the UK over a weekend, I don't think it would be unachievable to think that we could get as much as 1 million people aware. I'm sure of that. I mean, don't quote me on the numbers, but I mean, That's got to be a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, thanks Beyond Belief for asking for measurable proof there. These globies. The globies love our content though. The amount of globies that are just all over our content like a rash. Like I know secretly inside, even if they're paid disinformatives, they're secretly awake. How painful would that be to be awake, but to be either blackmailed or paid to be a disinformative agent? That's got to be like torture, you know? But either way, they're on our content. So as Scots would say, come ahead, McQuillan. Yeah, I agree, Cece. Trolls should be treated as madness. There's no negotiating with madness. They believe in cartoons, lies, and should be treated accordingly. I agree completely. As I said before, in my journey, just on a quick one, everybody in the chat room, just yes or no. You know, is it ludicrous to say that I don't believe anybody in their journey of awakening has bashed flat earthers before becoming awake? No one has, have they? You know? It's lunacy. It's lunacy the way they do it. It's not right. It's not right. There's nothing right about it. Nothing at all. Yeah, good one, Riddle. Point them in that direction. And it's the stupid questions they ask them. That's what that's what I've done as well on my comments. When they've done that, I've said to them, I'm just going to leave your comment right there so everyone can see, the lunacy of what it is you're saying. Thank you, the chat room, for holding it down. I greatly appreciate that from all of you. I'll be honest with you. I am struggling to keep up with the chat room. I'm doing my best. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, cards, link up, back of the cards. There's the card there for anybody that's just tuned in. If anyone wants any of their information put on the back, email me operationrealness@yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to oblige. Now, this week, I'm just going to move on to this next bit. I still got quite a lot to say still. I should probably write this down because I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, see this board here? I've got this board here, not for today, but in future. What I might do is I might print bits and pieces off that I've seen that week and have that up as like a little bulletin board. I'm not going to write. I did attempt to write something on it to see if anyone could see it, and I don't think it's you can see it. So I'm going to remix that and have something informative on that at the same time. So yeah, this week I uploaded some informative content. By doing so, it's like I opened up a box of trolls, which I'm fine with. And sometimes I'm in the mood to engage with them. More time I'm not in the mood to engage with them. But I uploaded content this week on the moon landings, or the lack of moon landings, and the fraudulent crime that's been committed by NASA, fraud being the crime. So I've uploaded that. I've popped that out there. John Thor uploaded, re-uploaded content of Antarctica, which I asked his permission to reshare, and he most obliged me. I then uploaded that as well. So what I was trying to do with that was I was trying to show people, look, there's the forgery of the firmament, and there's the forgery of Antarctica, by showing people, we never went to the moon because there's no getting past the firmament. Yeah, Antarctica is not a continent; it's a wall. Yeah. Those words might not have come out properly, but after doing so, I saw what kind of response it brings. You may notice that I'm kind of going down a little bit because it's about what I'm about to talk about. I'm not trying to get emotional, so I'm just going to keep it calm. But as I said, I've got a busy life. I work full time. I've got a teenage child and a child that's about to become a teenager. So things are full on all the time. And I have a need, innit? I have a need to press on with spreading awareness. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And yeah, it's not for everyone. And you know what? It might not even be for me, but I've made it be for me because I have the need to do so. Yeah, I have the need to tell people the truth that I've found out. And it's lonely. Like I said before, I'm surrounded by people that are not awake at work. And yeah, my family, they know the world's not a globe. They know that there's no measurable proof. They know they live on a flat earth, but they don't want to hear about it all the time. They're still, they want to talk about things that I don't want to talk about. So yeah, it's a strain to say the least. The one thing I am really very, very blessed to say is that it's not a strain on my relationship with my partner. He's extremely supportive, and without his support, it would make it almost impossible to do what I'm doing right now. So I thank him for his support in allowing me to press forward with this. Even though he knows I'm not experienced at this, and he knows I haven't done anything like this before, he feels how passionate I am about the truth. And how much I want to get that out to you guys. So yeah, but there's times where it's incredibly upsetting. It feels extremely lonely. And I've stated on previous of my hangouts that before I found the people that I have found now that are on my subscription list, I was very alone. I really was very alone, and that brings me back a little bit to what I was saying before about how I don't understand how some people can say "Where were you?" to other people. I don't understand that. So you lot can call me stupid if you want, but I don't understand the other people saying "Where were you?" What, because people didn't have an online presence from way back when? It's where were they? It doesn't mean they weren't awake. It doesn't mean they weren't walking their own path of making people aware just because they weren't online. I'm not saying that gives credence to people that weren't online, but do you understand where I'm coming from? It's like everyone's walking their path of truth. It's nobody's path to own. So this whole, anyway, I don't want to get into that. It's a bit jarring, but what upset me was the lack of honesty in people with their cognitive dissonance. And before everyone jumps on about, do you know what that even means? Yeah, of course I know what that means. I wouldn't even be bringing it up if I didn't know what it means. I've got a really a good video on it that maybe if I get some time, I will work on, and I will upload it onto my channel just to kind of inform people and clue them up about how brainwashed they actually are. Yeah. It's mind-numbing sometimes, and when it's a problem for me, it's a problem for me when that happens in my personal life, offline. Yeah? When that barrier comes up between someone that I work with, when that barrier comes up between someone that I'm personally close with. But on the flip side of that, I'm not going to get too much into that because that is just but I'm happy because June will have a separate situation, and I will have more time to dedicate to this. And I am going to work for myself. I'm not going to work for a company anymore, and I'm going to professionally walk dogs. And you can laugh at that if you want, but it's what I'd like to do. I've got to that point in my life, and yeah, some people might say 40 is young. I don't think it is. I think I've got to the point in my life where I'm approaching 40. I want to relax a little bit and slow down a little bit. I want to be there for my children. They're approaching their teen years now. I feel that's more than ever of the time for me to be here. But a good thing happened this week, and I'm hoping that he is watching. My pal Gavin, he has been a pal of mine since we were really, really young. my mum was really good friends with his family member, and yeah, just kind of grown up knowing each other. So he's kind of like, you know, non-genetic family, if you know what I mean, you know. And he popped over this week to say hi. And I said, right, that's it. I'm letting the cat out of the bag, innit? That's it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this conversation. And it would have been a great one to film, actually. I've really got to get more savvy on my camera, and take a leaf out of Focker's, Flat Earth Focker's book. Yeah, he's on it with the camera. But yeah, he came around and I opened him up to Flat Earth, and I gave him a few of my cards. And he said that a couple of his mates are into, you know, alternative... that's how I would see where I'm live. I'm trying to think of the word now so I don't throw myself into a hole. Things, okay, alternative things. But what was really nice and what was really positive, unlike the beginning of my week, was that he was really open to it. And he, you know, straight away asked what my YouTube channel was and said that he was going to tune in, and then text me later on that evening with some positive talk. And it really kind of gave me a boost. I was like, okay, you know what? So for every, you know, X amount of people that just shut it down, there will always be one person that goes, really? So don't give up. No matter how many conversations you've had where people have shut you down and made you feel like shit, there will be someone that goes, right, thanks for waking me up. Thanks. I'm going to look into that, you know. So that's legit. I did jokingly say to him, I'm going to have to get you on. And he laughed and joked. But Gavin, if you're watching, like I'm more than up for you coming on, and we'll have a little chat, and we'll share with everyone what is going on. So yeah, with that being said, I've just got do you know what? Can you just give me a second, guys? Something's just happened here that I want to check out. If you give me a second. 1 sec. Just bear with me a second. If any of you needs to get a drink, do so. I'll just be 30 seconds. Sorry, guys. Okay, so where was I? Huh? No, you know what? It's like the charger's not working on it properly. Sorry, guys. Right, back to where I was. Where was I? Yeah. So, Gavin, if you're watching, next week when I do my live hangout, if you're free, come on over and have a chat, and we will discuss Flat Earth. I would be really interested to kind of get your stance on things as you're going through the stages of maybe looking into it. Yeah, so that's that bit done with. And yeah, if any of you are interested in coming on and being a guest on here, feel free to do so. I'm going to come on every Sunday at 2 p.m. And like I said, it should be for a couple of hours, give or take, depending on what happens. So yeah, there is a couple of other things that I want to talk about. Did anybody see the videos uploaded regarding the UK Flat Earth Convention? And does anybody in the chat room think it's done anything to help for awareness? This is not a bashing comment. I'm just asking because I'm really interested to know what other people think. I'd like to think that it's like people that weren't awake to it before are awake to it now, as a result of that convention. What does anybody else think? And one thing that I did see that was quite interesting was the video upload of that Flat Earth documentary by the Americans. Has anyone seen the advert for that? let me know, please. And just so you know, there is a little bit of this hangout that I want to ask questions. I want to ask things, get you lots view on things, because you know, there's things that I want to interact with. And where I'm new to this, so it's not like I've set up guests to come on and whatnot. I'm pretty ad hoc with relation to things like that. But yeah, has anyone seen anything to do with the Flat Earth Convention in the UK? And has anyone seen the video on the Flat Earth documentary by the Americans, and what is everybody's thoughts on that? So yeah, I'm just gonna look into the chat room. Z Proxy. The only video I saw, the audio wasn't good, and to be honest with you, the only video I saw was of one of the people presenting, looking at comments that had been made. So I'm not sure what part of the convention that was, why the person only uploaded that and didn't upload anything informative. What got me a little bit was, right, this convention's happened, and the first bit of video that I saw was of something that was completely irrelevant, and it was just of someone bashing somebody. And I was like, wow, all that effort, all that money's been paid for tickets, and the only content that people didn't, so people that weren't awake, but I doubt they're going to buy tickets for a convention. Or not a lot of them are. I think, you know, a convention is going to be full of people that are already awake. So when a video is put online, I'm hoping, okay, hopefully the video is going to be informative, so people that aren't already awake are going to see this and go, okay, this is a good thing. But what I saw was like a grown man bashing another man, and I just thought to myself, oh, here we go. So I'm wondering, what did everyone else think? Did everyone else think, or no, not what did everyone else think? Does anyone else know of any other content? Was there any informative content that was uploaded? Was there any, like, you know, good information that, you know, people can point in that direction and say, look, bang, that's a good example. Look, they did well. They've woken X amount of people up, or, you know, what progress has been made from that? Did anyone go? Did anyone? I do remember someone saying they were going to go. Who? What chat was it in? Was it in Dell's chat? Was it in Jamie's chat? I remember someone saying that they were going to go, but they got their ticket from time or something, and they were going to go anyway. Yeah, riddle me this. That's the only thing I don't like, you know, is the ego. I don't feel like the ego is going to get the truth anyway, you know, because I feel like with ego comes with ownership of something, you know. And I'm like, oh God, you know what? If everyone's going to just start exploiting this, then I'm not sure we're going to get any further than people that have gone, you know, hundreds of years before us. I feel like until we can all selflessly, non-egotistically unite, like what good is actually going to be done? Maybe in the short term, some good will be done, but in the long term, you know, who's bearing witness to this and documenting this so that this has been documented accurately, and in future people will be able to inform themselves on this? Or are people in the future only going to give the example of Convex Earth documentary, and then no one's still going to take it seriously? You know? By all means, everybody in the chat room, gladly inform the Globee disinformed agent how wrong they are. You're all clued up. They're asking stupid questions. Personally, I would answer a stupid question with a stupid answer. That's what I've done on my comments. But you've got to rate these Globees for their persistence. Me, I've got the rest of my life to tell the truth. I'm not in no rush. I'll tell the truth for the rest of my life. I'm wondering if they're going to get bored before we do, because I won't get bored. I really won't. Yeah, I've said in my previous Hangouts, I don't really buy into, nah, that's not the right thing to say. Not everybody is going to like everybody. Yeah, I don't expect everybody to, like me. Yeah, even the way I talk might piss some people off. Yeah, the way I behave might piss some people off. I might rub people up the wrong way. Lord knows I do it at work. Yeah, certain people at work can't stand me. Certain people at work love me. Certain people at work can't stand me. So I'm used to, I'm like Marmite. People either like me or they hate me. I just try and do unto others as I have them do unto me. But I don't necessarily agree. I'm always going to have this issue, yeah? Just because I have this issue, I don't claim people to be like fucked up bad people. It's okay to not agree with what people do, yeah? And still respect them as a human being, yeah? And you can watch any of my previous content, and I'm only going to reiterate what I'm saying now. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get to the point. No, let me retract that. I will never get to the point where I feel like making money off of the truth is a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing, I don't think it's a good thing. That's just my personal opinion, all right? I'm not out here to offend anybody. I will not change my mind on that, Yeah, I'm not really up for going into those hangouts where that little button is there to do the super chat. It kind of just makes the whole thing feel very disinsincere, whatever the word is, all right? Disingenuine, yeah? Just doesn't feel genuine. As soon as I see that super chat button, I'm like, only because I can't visualize myself doing that. So I'm not sure I rate anybody else that does. I'm trying to be very careful with my wording, yeah? Because I'm not going to get accused of bashing people and hating people. I'm just giving my opinion, yeah? That's all I'm doing. I don't rate people that make money off of the truth, yeah? It's up to you to do what you need to do and tell the truth at the same time, yeah? The truth's not going to pay your bills, fam. It's not supposed to pay your bills. That's not good. It's just not good. I'm not even going to go any further into that because I don't want to bite my I don't want to chew whatever the word is. I don't want my channel to get fucked up. So yeah, I'm just saying categorically there won't ever be a day where Roxanne Glenn subscribes to this whole making dough off of flat earth. Yeah. The at best I'm going to be making badges to give out to free for people. Yeah, and that'll be on a personal thing. It won't be I'm giving out free badges to people that answer this or competition time. I'm not on that. Yeah, it's not that thing for me. Yeah, I'm on privately communicating with people that might not have access to these things, and they might say, all right, Rox, what can you send me up 500 badges? Yeah, give me a couple of days, I'll get them sorted for you and I'll send them up free of charge, not a problem. It's not about me doing you a favor. I'm just trying to selflessly help the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. So before we get further down the road and people want to start bashing me, I'm just saying from now, categorically, so that then people can look back to this and say, okay, that's what she's saying. I'm still going to say that same thing X amount of months down the road, X amount of years down the road, into my 90s, I'm still going to be saying, don't make money off the truth. Just my opinion. I'm not telling anyone else what to do. I'm just telling you what my stance is. Does that mean I don't like people that make money off the truth? I don't know anyone personally that makes money off of the truth. So there you go. Yeah. Do I respect people that are making money off the truth? Do you? Ask yourself that question. Do you respect people that make money off of the truth? Just yes or no. What's the chat room saying? Do you respect people that make money off of the truth? Do you respect people that are making money off of flat earth? There you go. Do you respect people that make money off of flat earth? If you do, can you be so kind as to say why? And if you don't, I'm just going to assume you're saying no because of the same reasons I am. So I'm seeing nope, 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 nope. Yeah, that sounded like 4 no's to begin with. Another no. The truth is free. That's correct. I don't respect money at all. Good one. Still, no one can answer that question. Blue marble. See, so some people are like, no, some people don't have a problem with it. Yeah, see, the trolls are never going to go anywhere. And I feel like if they are human individuals, they're just going to get replaced with other human individuals. And if they're AIs, then boy, they're here to stay, right? They're not going nowhere. And that's what freaks me out sometimes. I don't know if I'm communicating with AIs or human beings. I've been weirded out by a couple of things those things have said. And I say those things because I don't think they're human, some of them. No, truth is for everybody. So I'm just going to call it out on this one. And I'm going to say the general consensus on this is that the chat room that's watching this live feed right now does not feel that making money off of flat earth is a good thing. Yeah? Real talk. And all I'm meaning by that, yeah, is going into chat rooms, yeah, and clicking that button for super chat. Yeah? Now, in my eyes, if you want to take time on your own flex to go and write your own information and you want to write a book, yeah, maybe someone might want to write a book on all of this that's going on. Yeah? You know, Jane Doe might want to write a book. Like, good for her. She does that. Like, go and put it in Waterstones and sell it, love, because you've taken the time, you've done that. That's good for you, man. That's good for you. I don't feel there's anything wrong with people writing books and doing that. But it's just, it just feels gratuitous when you go into a chat room and people are in there talking shit and paying for it. I'm just like, okay, this is nuts. That this is also something that if I'd have said a year ago, I would never have known any of that even existed. But then that probably just is who I am. That's just how I am. In my journey, I went through certain avenues on YouTube, and yeah, for real, I've missed certain people's content altogether. Sometimes not even on purpose. It's just not come up to me. Can you deal with our dog? Because it's like my dog's trying to get a look in. My dog wants a look in here. He's trying to jump up. It's like he knows I'm talking to someone, so he thinks someone's here. And I'm not talking to anyone, I'm talking to a camera. So now he can see there's nobody up here. Okay? Off you go. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is with pets and live feeds, yeah? People's pets do some bits when people are doing live feeds, right? Go have your lunch. So yeah, I really don't subscribe to people, you know, buying into it. Like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just here giving my opinion. So yeah, I feel say that the more that we can try and come together, the more that we can try and even if we can't agree on everything, all right, agree to disagree on some things, but at least we agree on the fact that the earth is flat. Yeah, we might not agree on everything, but at least we can agree on that. Yeah, as long as we can do that, I feel that there's room for everybody to push forward. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm just going to try and own my skills, get better at engaging with people, get better at debating people offline, obviously. Yeah, offline, obviously. I'm also, in the next few weeks, on the run-up to the Link Up, which is on the 23rd and 24th of June in Hyde Park in London. On the run-up to the Link Up, I'm going to actually have some conversations with people. And when I say pre-planned conversations, I'm going to pre-plan the fact that I'm going to do it. They have no idea that I'm going to do it. And I'm going to see how far I get. I'm going to set up a couple of conversations. I'm going to invite some people to have a conversation with me. All they know is that I'm going to film the conversation. They're not going to know what the conversation's about. And I'm going to try and do it live. And if I can get it done live, then it'll be worth it. I feel if it's pre-recorded, it's not really going to have the same genuineness. Yeah, I know that when it's pre-recorded, people can do that whole editing stuff, so I don't want to do that. And just to give you a hint, I'm going to be talking to professionals in my workplace. I'm going to be talking to generic professionals that you will come across day to day. I will obviously give them their anonymity. If they're in their uniform, I obviously will allow them to put their jackets on, and we may have to give them an alias because of a conflict of interest with their work. But pilot, airline pilot, what are they called when they don't have the, like little planes, people that fly the little planes. Got a family friend that's a pilot, and he's got his own little plane that he goes and flies around the UK. I'm going to have a conversation with him. I'm also going to have possibly a conversation with a priest, which should be interesting. Or he will know he's being filmed and broadcast live. And I'm hoping to do these conversations right here in the comfort of my own home. If I can't do them here in the comfort of my own home, I will set up a ramshackle setup wherever we are. And obviously, if we're in a public place, I'm hoping to get permission in that public place. So there's a few bits and pieces I've got to go through to do that, but I want to take activism to that level on the run up to the Hangout, run up to the link up. And as I said, with the link up, I want to do it over 2 days. I want to give people as much opportunity as they can to get there, 23rd, 24th of June. I'm happy to help anybody that needs assistance with finding out, where to stay. I realise that some people might not come to London that frequently. Myself, I've lived in London my whole life. I'm going to fully be involved with the whole weekend myself. And I'm also happy to drive people back and forth. Obviously, my car's only got a certain amount of spaces. But, if for some people, if they feel quite vulnerable, ladies, especially if certain ladies are feeling quite vulnerable coming down to London, I've not quite managed to twist my partner's arm to allow people to come and stay the night in our house. But I'm more than happy to accommodate people for tea and coffee and, find them locally somewhere to stay near me. And then I'm happy to travel up to Hyde Park and back again. And then, maybe we could, have a few drinks here and whatnot and reflect on the day. There's some really cool places that I can get for a really good price near me. So yeah, please get in touch with me, operationrealness@yahoo.com, if you need me to help you with any of those things. And as I said, I want to get as much activism done that weekend as possible. I also want to attempt the Speaker's Corner on the 24th. I say attempt because I'm not sure I'm probably the best person to do that. I feel that the community internationally has got some amazing people involved. I feel that we've got excellent people that provide excellent information. Yeah, people that do excellent activism. Yeah, people that do excellent pioneering stuff with regards to the truth. Yeah. And I feel that if we can get a selection of those people, a selection of the best activists, the best informatives, then we will resonate. Yeah. And as I've spoken with a couple of people offline, and a couple of people really spoken about being interested in getting into the media somehow. You know how London is, every weekend there's always some kind of crap they're talking about on the Sunday politics show outside Parliament, and I feel that Sunday is the best day to get into the background. And yeah, we're probably only going to get one shot at it. After they see us go in the background once, they're not going to probably have a bar of us doing it again, but once is all we need. Yeah, once with a big Ask Clear banner. Rebecca and is it Sandy? They've done amazing with the banner that they've got. I've got 2 flag banners on the go and a couple of other banners. So we're going to do well with the banners. And yeah, I really want to move forward with that. I'm going to get the badges in process. I've got umpteen flyers, umpteen cards to give out. And in the meantime, between now and then, I'm going to carry on with my live hangouts every week. And in the midst of that, all my other free time is going to be spent owning my skills in being a confident activist and being confident at engaging with people about Flat Earth. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I'm going to go back into the chat room and see what you guys are saying. And yeah, to anybody that wanted to join the Hangout, this week I haven't really arranged for anybody to come on this week. But as I said, if you want to email me at operationrealness@yahoo.com, I'm happy to. I'm obviously going to have to, talk back and forth with you a little bit before you come on air with me. So yeah, if you want to email me, we'll have a chat, and I will arrange for you to come on with me next week at 2 p.m. GMT. I don't really want to do ad hoc scenarios. When I had Matt on the other week, me and Matt arranged for him to come on that day. It wasn't a spare of the moment thing. We did go back and forth with each other before he came on. Full ratings to you, Matt. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, anyone that wants to come on, obviously email me operationrealness@yahoo.com. I'm happy to go back and forth with you, talk about a few things and arrange for you to come on. CC, I'm definitely going to get back in touch with you this week, and we'll have a chat and we'll go on from there and see if you'd be up for coming on the Hangout as well. I'd really like that. Love talking with like-minded people. The same goes for Robert in the moment as well, Steve HB, all of you guys. Like you guys are doing the community a brilliant justice. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the truth. Keep speaking your truth. People will listen. The truth will prevail. It's going to take a while. Like I said, I hope I see it in my lifetime. But yeah, so yeah. From here on out, I'm going to be doing Hangouts every Tuesday. I'm going to be doing Hangouts every Sunday at 2 p.m. GMT. I'm going to be doing a link up in London, Hyde Park on the 23rd and the 24th of June. After that, by the way, I will have a lot more time to devote to going across the UK to other people's activism meetups. I really want to become more active in helping in any way I can in spreading awareness. And I feel the only way I can do that is by owning my skills and becoming a better activist myself, so that I've got something more to give the truth. So yeah, and I've got my other channel, Flat Earth Roxanne, and I'm going to be using that channel in the meantime to just upload content to, informative content. And yeah, that's about all I've got to say today, guys. As I said, I'm going to be back next Sunday at 2 p.m. I'm going to go into the chat room a little bit before I come off air, but I've kind of run through everything that I wanted to say today, pretty much. As I said earlier on, just in case anyone's tuned in, hold it up again. If anyone wants any of their info put on the back of there, by all means, email me, and I'll be happy to put your information on the back of that. Closer to the time, I'm going to be putting the London link up on the back of that as well. And yeah, that's probably about all I've got to say for this week, guys. So I'm going to go into the chat room, see what you guys have got to say. If you have anything you want me to shout out, if any of you have got any meetups that you want me to mention, I'm happy to do that. More than happy to do that. I know that I think there's one next week, isn't there, Rebecca? Jamie, what is the name of the place that you're meeting up at? If anyone knows, or even if Rebecca and Jamie aren't here, does anyone else know when that is? No worries, CC. You're more than welcome. As I said, I'm going to be here every week doing this. Heaton Park. So yeah, check out Rebecca's Way channel, Jamie Brown's channel. They've got an activism meet up next week in Heaton Park. I'm not sure if Jamie's on live today. Thank you, Beyond Belief. The 5th of the 5th, 2018 at 12 p.m. Heaton Park, Manchester meetup. So yeah, that's the next one coming up that I know of. And thank you very much to Beyond Belief for popping that up in the chat. I wasn't actually sure of the details. So yeah, 5th of the 5th, 18, 12 p.m. Heaton Park, Manchester meetup. And yeah, we'll be on next Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT. In the meantime, if any of you want to come on and join me, email me at operationrealness@yahoo.com. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all for taking the time to listen to what I've got to say. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, regardless of where you are internationally. And I shall see you all again soon. Bye.